The African sun beats down relentlessly upon the vast, parched plains. It's the dry season, a time of great hardship. The land is thirsty, and so are its inhabitants. A great river, the Mara, cuts a life-giving path through this arid landscape, a shimmering ribbon of hope for countless creatures. But where there is water, there is also danger. Life and death are constant companions here, their fates intertwined in the daily struggle for survival. This river is not just a source of refreshment, it is an arena where some of the most dramatic events in the natural world unfold. Every sip of water comes with a price. Along the riverbank, a sense of profound unease hangs in the air. The water's surface appears calm, almost glassy, reflecting the immense blue sky above. But beneath this tranquil facade, ancient predators lie in wait. Their presence is a silent, invisible threat, felt more than seen. The air is thick with the scent of dust and the low, nervous calls of animals gathering at the water's edge. They are drawn by an instinct more powerful than fear, the need to drink. For days, perhaps even weeks, they have traveled, their bodies growing weaker under the oppressive heat. Now they stand at the precipice, hesitating between a slow, certain death from thirst and a sudden, violent end. This is the stage for one of nature's great spectacles. It is a confrontation that has been repeated for millennia. On one side, the herbivores, driven by the desperate need to sustain themselves. On the other, the carnivores, masters of this aquatic domain, waiting for their moment. The tension is palpable, a quiet hum of anxiety that ripples through the assembled herds. Each animal is on high alert, its senses straining to detect the slightest sign of movement, the faintest ripple that might betray the hunter lurking below. It is a world of instinct where a single moment of hesitation or a single lapse in concentration can be fatal. The laws of this kingdom are simple and unforgiving. Survival is a game of strategy, of patience, and of chance. There is no room for error. The predators have time on their side. They can afford to wait. The prey, however, feel the urgency of their thirst with every passing moment. The sun climbs higher, the heat intensifies, and the pressure to act builds. Soon one will have to make the first move, a brave or foolish decision that will trigger a chain reaction, setting the stage for a dramatic and life-altering encounter. The river holds its breath, ready to claim its next victim or grant another day of life. The great wildebeest migration is a river of life in itself, a constant flow of bodies across the plains. Now, this river of animals has reached the water's edge. Thousands of them stand together, a sea of horns and shaggy manes. Their low, mournful calls create a continuous, anxious chorus. They push and jostle, driven by a collective panic. The ones at the front are pressed forward by the immense weight of the herd behind them. They can smell the water, see its life-sustaining promise. But they can also sense the unseen danger. Their wide, dark eyes scan the surface, searching for any sign of the reptilian giants they know are there. Fear is a powerful force, but thirst is a relentless master. A young wildebeest, its sides heaving, can wait no longer. It takes a tentative step, its hoof sinking into the soft mud at the river's bank. Others follow its lead, their courage bolstered by numbers. They believe there is safety in the crowd, a mistaken assumption that predators can only take one at a time. They lower their heads, their muzzles just touching the cool water. For a brief, glorious moment, there is relief. They drink deeply, their long necks stretched out, their eyes still wide with apprehension. Every sound, every splash sends a jolt of terror through them. This is the moment of greatest vulnerability. With their heads down, their field of vision is limited, and their attention is divided between quenching their thirst and staying alive. They drink in short, nervous bursts, lifting their heads frequently to scan their surroundings. The herd is a chaotic mass of confusion and individual desperation. A sudden movement by one animal can trigger a stampede, sending hundreds of others fleeing in a cloud of dust and spray. Whether the danger is real or imagined, this very panic can be as dangerous as the predator itself, leading to trampling and exhaustion. The crocodiles know this. They are masters of exploiting this confusion. The wildebeest, for all their collective numbers, are not a unified force. They are a collection of individuals, each acting on its own survival instinct. An older, more experienced bull might hold back, letting the younger, more impetuous members of the herd test the waters first. This is a cruel but effective strategy. It is a world where the survival of the fittest is not a concept but a daily reality. The river offers life, but it demands a sacrifice in return, and the wildebeest are here to pay the price. From beneath the murky water, a pair of eyes breaks the surface. They are not the eyes of a fish, but the cold, unblinking periscopes of a Nile crocodile. This creature is a living fossil, a relic from the age of dinosaurs. Its design has been perfected over millions of years for one purpose: ambush. The rest of its immense body, armored and powerful, remains hidden below. It drifts slowly, silently, using the river's current to move without creating a ripple. It is the embodiment of patience, an apex predator that has mastered the art of the wait. It can hold its breath for over an hour, becoming just another log floating in the water. The crocodile's strategy is one of pure, brutal efficiency. It identifies a target, often a younger or weaker wildebeest that has waded a little too far from the bank. Its brain, though small, is wired for this single task. It calculates the distance, the water's depth, and the prey's likely path. Special pressure receptors on its snout can detect the faintest vibrations in the water, the footsteps of the animal on the riverbed. It is a sensory system so refined it can strike with pinpoint accuracy, even in cloudy water. The hunter inches closer, its movements so subtle they are imperceptible to the nervous animals just feet away. Then it happens. In a breathtaking explosion of power, the crocodile lunges. The water erupts as its massive tail propels its body forward like a torpedo. Its jaws, filled with conical teeth designed for gripping, not cutting, clamp down on the wildebeest's leg or muzzle with immense force. The initial shock is overwhelming. The wildebeest bellows in terror and pain, its struggle churning the water into a frenzy. This commotion often triggers a mass panic in the rest of the herd, which scrambles to get back to the safety of the bank, leaving the captured individual to its fate. The struggle is not over yet. A single crocodile may not be strong enough to pull a fully grown wildebeest under. This is where a different kind of teamwork comes into play. Other crocodiles, drawn by the commotion, converge on the scene. They are not cooperating in a planned hunt, but rather acting on a shared primal instinct. They will latch onto the struggling prey, and together they perform the death roll. By spinning their powerful bodies in the water, they dismember the unfortunate animal. It is a gruesome yet highly effective method of dispatching and sharing a large meal. In this river, survival is a brutal affair. Far from the sun-scorched plains of Africa, another epic struggle for survival plays out in the vast, snow-covered wilderness of the Canadian North. Here, the landscape is a stark canvas of white and grey, and the air is so cold it hurts to breathe. Winter holds this land in its icy grip for much of the year. The challenges are different, but the stakes are just as high. Instead of thirst, the enemy is cold and starvation. For the mighty wood bison, the largest land animals in North America, every day is a battle against the elements. Their thick, shaggy coats provide insulation, but they need a constant supply of food to fuel their internal furnaces. The bison are herbivores, and their food is buried beneath a deep blanket of snow. They must use their massive heads and powerful neck muscles as plows, swinging them from side to side to sweep away the snow and expose the frozen grasses and sedges beneath. This is exhausting work that consumes precious energy. A herd of bison moves slowly across the landscape, leaving a trail of cleared patches in the snow. They must keep moving, always searching for new pastures. To stand still is to starve. Their breath hangs in the frigid air like ghosts, a visible sign of the life force they are fighting so hard to maintain. But the cold is not their only adversary. They are being watched. On the ridges overlooking the herd, a pack of grey wolves moves with silent purpose. They are perfectly adapted to this environment, their thick fur matching the winter landscape, their large paws acting like snowshoes to distribute their weight. Unlike the lone crocodile, the wolf is a social hunter. The pack is its family and its key to survival. It is a complex hierarchy of cooperation and communication led by an alpha pair. Their survival depends on their ability to work together to bring down prey many times their size. The wolves are patient. They will follow the bison herd for days, sometimes even weeks, observing them from a distance. They are looking for a weakness, a sign of vulnerability. An old bull lagging behind, a young calf struggling to keep up with the pace, or an individual that appears sick or injured. This is not a random attack, it is a calculated assessment. The wolves must conserve their own energy. A full-on chase in deep snow is draining, and a direct confrontation with a healthy adult bison can be deadly. A kick from one of those powerful hooves or a charge from its sharp horns can mean a fatal injury for a wolf. The moment has come. The wolves have chosen their target. A young bison that has become separated from the main herd. The hunt begins not with a sprint, but with a test. A few members of the pack move forward, their bodies low to the ground, trying to drive the bison further from the safety of its family. The bison, though young, is not helpless. It stands its ground, its head lowered, a deep rumbling growl emanating from its chest. It is a clear warning. The wolves circle, their movements fluid and coordinated, a dance of death played out in the snow. They are testing its resolve, its strength, its spirit. The adult bison are not indifferent to the plight of the calf. They form a defensive ring, a fortress of muscle, horn and fur. With the calves and weaker members sheltered in the center, the adults face outward, presenting an impenetrable wall to the attackers. They stamp their feet and snort, their hot breath creating clouds of steam in the freezing air. This is a formidable defense. For the wolves, a direct assault on this formation would be suicide. Their intelligence lies in their ability to create chaos and break this unity. The hunt is a battle of wits as much as it is a battle of strength. The pack splits up. While a few wolves continue to harry the main herd, distracting the large bulls, others focus their attention on the isolated calf. They take turns lunging in, nipping at its legs and hindquarters. These are not killing bites, but they are designed to weaken and exhaust the prey. The goal is to keep the bison moving, to drain its energy, to confuse it. The young animal becomes increasingly panicked, running in one direction and then another, unable to rejoin the protective circle. The wolves are relentless, their stamina seemingly endless in the pursuit. Finally, the young bison begins to tire. Its movements become slower, more desperate. It stumbles. This is the signal the wolves have been waiting for. The alpha male moves in for the decisive attack, aiming for the throat to deliver a suffocating bite. The rest of the pack joins in, overwhelming the prey with their combined weight and strength. It is a brutal, efficient end to a long and arduous chase. The pack has secured a meal that will sustain them for days. This is the law of the frozen north, the endurance of the herd versus the coordinated intelligence of the pack. From the frozen tundra we journeyed to the vast blue expanse of the tropical ocean. Here, beneath the sunlit surface, another kind of drama unfolds at incredible speed. For the flying fish, the ocean is a world of constant threat. From below, predators like tuna and mahi-mahi hunt them with relentless speed. Their streamlined bodies are built for pursuit, and they can close in on a school of flying fish in a matter of seconds. For the flying fish, there is nowhere to hide in the open water. Their survival depends on a truly extraordinary adaptation, the ability to leave their world behind, if only for a moment. When danger approaches, the flying fish executes a remarkable escape. It swims rapidly towards the surface, its body angled upwards. As it breaks through the water, it spreads its large, wing-like pectoral fins. But it doesn't just glide. By beating its tail, which is specially shaped with a larger lower lobe, against the water surface at an incredible speed, up to 70 times per second, it propels itself into the air. It becomes an aquatic missile, launching itself out of the reach of its underwater pursuers. It is a breathtaking sight, a flash of silver soaring above the blue waves. This flight is not a gentle glide. It is a desperate, high-speed bid for freedom. The fish can travel for hundreds of feet, staying airborne for up to 45 seconds. It uses the wind and the updrafts from the waves to extend its flight, a master of aerodynamics. From below, the tuna can only watch as its meal takes to the sky. The element of surprise is complete. For a moment, the flying fish is safe from the dangers of the deep. It has traded its aquatic world for an aerial one, a clever tactical move in the chess game of survival. But this escape brings a new set of dangers. The sky has its own hunters. As the flying fish soars above the waves, it becomes a visible target for seabirds like frigatebirds and boobies. These aerial predators have keen eyesight and can spot the shimmering fish from a great distance. They dive with incredible speed, attempting to snatch the fish in mid-air. The flying fish is caught between two worlds and two sets of predators. Escaping the jaws of the tuna may mean flying directly into the beak of a bird. Survival here is about making a split-second choice and hoping that the new environment is safer than the one you just left. Returning to the African savanna, we encounter the fastest land animal on Earth, the cheetah. Known for its explosive speed, the cheetah is a solitary hunter, a specialist in high-speed pursuits. Its slender body, long legs and flexible spine are all designed for reaching speeds of over 70 miles per hour in short bursts. Traditionally, a cheetah will stalk its prey, such as a gazelle, using stealth to get as close as possible before launching its devastating sprint. This strategy is incredibly energy-intensive, and the hunt is often over in less than a minute, succeed or fail. However, in some parts of Africa, we are witnessing a fascinating change in behavior. Young male cheetahs, often brothers, are choosing not to go their separate ways once they leave their mother. Instead, they are forming small groups, or coalitions. These coalitions of 2 or 3 males are rewriting the cheetah's hunting rulebook. While a single cheetah is limited to smaller prey, a coalition can work together to tackle much larger and more formidable animals. They are adapting their classic strategy to a new cooperative model, increasing their chances of success and survival in a competitive landscape. Their target might be a powerful adult wildebeest, an animal a lone cheetah would never dare to attack. The hunt begins with the same stealth, but now it is coordinated. The brothers use signals, a flick of the tail, a slight turn of the head, to communicate their intentions. They spread out, approaching their quarry from different angles. One cheetah might initiate the chase, drawing the wildebeest's attention and causing it to run. This first cheetah's role is not necessarily to make the kill, but to tire the prey and position it for the others. As the wildebeest attempts to flee, the other members of the coalition close in. They use their combined efforts to flank the animal, making it difficult for it to escape. One cheetah might latch onto a hind leg to slow it down, while another goes for the throat. This is a dangerous business. A wildebeest is strong, and its horns can inflict terrible wounds. But by working together, the cheetahs can overwhelm their prey much more quickly and safely than a single hunter could. This cooperative strategy is a remarkable example of animal intelligence and adaptability, a new solution to the age-old problem of finding food. In the heart of the savannah, another group of hunters operates with lethal precision. The lion pride is a matriarchal society, a family of related females, their cubs, and a few dominant males. It is the lionesses who are the primary hunters. Their teamwork is the stuff of legend, a beautifully choreographed display of power and strategy. Unlike the cheetah's sprint, the lion hunt is often a game of patience, encirclement, and brute force. Their prey can be anything from a warthog to a formidable Cape buffalo, an animal that can weigh over half a ton and is more than capable of killing a lion. The hunt often takes place under the cover of darkness or in the dim light of dawn and dusk. The lioness's tawny coats provide excellent camouflage in the tall, dry grass. The lead huntress, typically the most experienced female, directs the operation. She uses the terrain to her advantage, positioning her team downwind to prevent their scent from reaching the prey. Some lionesses, the wings, spread out wide, forming a semicircle that will slowly close around the unsuspecting herd. Others, the centers, lie in wait, ready to ambush any animal that is driven towards them. The signal is given and the trap is sprung. The wings begin their advance, driving the panicked herd towards the hidden ambushes. The air is filled with the thunder of hooves and the terrified calls of the prey. Confusion is the lion's greatest weapon. In the chaos, a single animal, perhaps a zebra that is old, young, or simply unlucky, becomes separated from the group. This is the moment the hunters have been waiting for. The center lionesses explode from their hiding places, their powerful bodies covering the ground in a few massive bounds. They converge on the isolated target, but success is never guaranteed. Prey animals are not passive victims. A zebra can deliver a kick with enough force to shatter a lion's jaw, a potentially fatal injury for a predator that relies on its mouth to kill and eat. A buffalo can use its massive horns to gore an attacker. We see it here. A lioness leaps onto the back of a large zebra, but the zebra bucks and twists with incredible power. It manages to throw the lioness off and, in the confusion, makes its escape back into the panicked herd. The hunt has failed. The pride must rest, regroup, and wait for another opportunity, their hunger unabated. The struggle for survival is not limited to the large, charismatic animals of the plains and oceans. In the world of insects, life and death battles are fought on a miniature scale, but with just as much intensity and strategic brilliance. Consider the rivalry between the Asian giant hornet and the Japanese honeybee. The hornet is a fearsome predator, an armored giant 5 times the size of a honeybee. A single hornet can kill dozens of bees in a minute, and a small group can wipe out an entire colony of 30,000 bees in just a few hours. For European honeybees introduced to Japan, an attack by these hornets is an apocalypse. The hornet's attack is a brutal blitzkrieg. A scout hornet will locate a honeybee hive and mark it with a special pheromone, a chemical signal that will guide its nestmates to the target. Soon, a squadron of hornets arrives. They systematically enter the hive and begin their massacre. They use their powerful mandibles to decapitate the defending worker bees one by one. The bees fight back bravely, stinging the invaders, but their stings are often unable to penetrate the hornet's thick armor. The hornets are relentless, clearing the hive of all adults before feasting on the honey and taking the larvae back to feed their own young. But the Japanese honeybees have coexisted with these hornets for thousands of years, and they have developed an astonishingly clever and unique defense. When a scout hornet enters their hive, they do not launch a futile frontal assault. Instead, they lure the hornet deeper inside. Then, in a coordinated response, hundreds of bees suddenly swarm the invader, completely covering its body to form a tight ball. They do not try to sting it. Instead, they begin to vibrate their flight muscles, working together to rapidly raise the temperature inside the bee ball. This bee ball is a living oven. The bees raise the temperature to a precise 47 degrees Celsius or 117 degrees Fahrenheit. This is just above the hornet's lethal limit, but just below the bee's own limit. The hornet, trapped at the center of this suffocating, boiling mass, is literally cooked to death. The bees have turned their own body heat into a weapon, a testament to the power of teamwork and evolutionary adaptation. It is a stunning example of how a seemingly defenseless prey can develop a highly sophisticated strategy to defeat a much more powerful predator, proving that in nature, size and strength are not the only things that matter.